Now I'm in Intercontinental Hotel, and today is 24th of January, which is the biggest holiday in China. This is the Chinese New Year Eve, which obviously was cancelled, and nothing is going on here right now. So nobody here. Of course, where we work. Let's go there. As you see, nobody here. The hotel is absolutely empty. All the staff wear the masks to protect themselves. So of course there are no guests, but the restaurant is still working, and you can actually order the food to your room, or even you can eat inside the restaurant if you want, but there are no customers for now. Let's see what's going on. This is Lera, and this is our stage where we should work, and it's prepared for the gig. Hello from Wuhan, and happy Chinese New Year everybody. So this is the view from our hotel balcony in Wuhan, and the weather is really bad today. It is so depressive. It's rainy, foggy. I don't really see anybody on the streets, no cars. It's so wild.
Long queues at the pharmacies. In an atmosphere of fear and anxiety, residents of Wuhan are panic buying face masks and medicines. They don't mind paying extra due to the shortage. According newspaper People's Daily, Central China's Hubei province will only be able to produce 8 million surgical masks, 2 million protective suits, and 1,200 infrared thermometers by the end of January. And that's far from enough to address the outbreak. Corridors packed with patients waiting for the test results. Major hospitals in Wuhan have been overwhelmed with outpatients over the past few days.
We're also in the process of optimizing the observation area. Before we were over there, the space was limited. We divided this area by half, but later it also turned out not to be enough. We emptied the orthopedic department on the 4th floor and moved there, so that patients can wait and see the doctors here, which is more convenient.
With more and more patients on the waiting list each day, the lack of medical staff in the city has sparked concerns across the country.
Doctors from all departments have come to support us. We kept increasing our capacity per shift from 2 doctors to 3 to 4 and now to 8. We work 3 shifts here every day, 24/7, day and night. Now we can attend to approximately 400 patients a day.
There have also been reports of delays and misdiagnosis due to a limited supply of virus testing kits. Zhou Shenwang, the mayor of Wuhan, admitted that it took time for medical experts to come up with more accurate testing kits. The latest testing kits were only recently certified by Chinese authorities.
We've been seeing a dramatic rise in the number of confirmed cases these past 2 days, but not because more people are getting infected. It's just that it takes less time to diagnose patients with the new virus testing kits and methods.
As officials race to contain the virus, stricter measures are being put into place across the city. Xinruinan, CGTN.
为了保护自己，也为了保护他人，所以我就戴了一个摩托车头盔，然后人多的地方我就可以把这个面罩，这个样子吧。
今天2月3号，初10，封城的第12天。
今天天气特别好，所以准备出来走一走。我爱人他的家里面消毒，就趁这个时间我就出来转一转，附近转一转，看一下药房啊，能不能买到口罩。这个口罩你们一般进不进呐？还是说最近一直都没货？可以送2个给你们。可以送2个给我。太好了，谢谢谢谢，完全没有了。没有，这一次性的是吧？这工商局刚才给我们的。工商局？哦，免费派送的。好，谢谢谢谢，非常感谢。送2个，一个人是吧？哦，我想买不到。没有，都没有，今年都没有了。嘿嘿，刚才收获了2个口罩，免费的。我感觉现在就像玩一个游戏。生化危机的游戏这样，今天每天要做一个什么任务？我买了一些菠菜，还有白菜苔、红菜苔、小白菜这些青菜吧。因为刚才那个超市去的比较晚嘛，几乎开始没有了。然后在超市里面，大家都是小推车，还有包括大推车，一买就是买一大堆。好了，今天的生存游戏收获了5、6斤青菜和2个免费的口罩，然后今天的任务就完成了。
The death toll from the novel coronavirus jumps past 500. Beijing is reporting that the death toll from the new coronavirus in mainland China jumped by 73 cases to 563 on Thursday, most of them in the Hubei province, where the epicenter of the virus is located. This is the 3rd consecutive record daily rise. Confirmed cases have also risen to more than 28,000. Officials are stepping up measures to contain the outbreak and to handle the rising number of cases. Experts are also intensifying their efforts to find a vaccine for this disease, as leading epidemiologists Epidemiologists at the University of Hong Kong warn that the spread of the novel coronavirus in Asian megacities outside mainland China may be impossible to contain amid the sustained transmission chains, which scientists believe could lead to self-sustaining outbreaks in cities all over the world.
Now, even in overseas places or outside of mainland China, including, it appears, Thailand, Singapore, and perhaps Japan and Vietnam, Hong Kong, Macau, you are already seeing local cases with unknown sources. So they have never traveled not to Wuhan and surrounding areas, but not even to mainland China itself. So that is evidence to show they probably got infected by somebody locally.
嗯，病毒的传播力似乎有所增强，病毒的毒性和致病力还需要有更多的临床资料，我们再加以分析。所以说，从现在看，疫情传播的速度比较快，对防控工作带来了一些挑战和压力。专家预判，现在疫情进入一个比较严重、复杂的时期。
今天是2020年1月23日，小雨有来。超市只有方便面与蔬菜采购量较大，后期不用担心补货问题。熟食与速冻食品货源充足。作为武汉人，我支持这次封城，这样不仅能制止病毒扩散，更能集中最好的资源。人呢，黑压压的。
Bir durum var şu anda. Çünkü tezgahlar hakikaten boş. Çok az şey kalmış durumda. İnsanlar bir panikle bir şey almaya çalışıyorlar. Bomboş yani. Ne olacak gibi değil. Daha yani 2 gün önce geldiğim capcanlı pazarın bu şekilde tamamen boşaldığını görmek korku verici hakikaten yani. Şuradan mantar falan almayacağım. Yıkandığı zaman içerisini tam olarak yıkayamayacağım için o yüzden mantar falan almayacağım ama sebze meyve alacağım. Bu arada bütün fiyatlar fahiş olmuş durumda şu anda. Bakın elma, armut hiçbir şey kalmamış burada. Sadece buradaki biraz elmalar var. Bunlardan mecburen alacağız şimdi. İnsanlar işte valizleriyle bir şekilde evden çıkmaya çalışıyorlar. Pazara gitmişler şu anda. Alışverişlerini toplu halde yapıp hani evdeki stoklarını sağlamaya çalışıyor insanlar.
Ya bisa juga. Ini
أجل دخلت دقايق عبد الله يقول لي يلا اطلع بسرعة ما يدخلون أكثر من زبون.
Mau ronde.
Satu.
Mau ambil ya?
Iya.
Beli apa lo? Mana kau ni dah? Kemana? Tahu juga. Orang berfaham.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. They are stressed, desperate, and still stuck in China tonight. Canadians hoping to leave the epicenter of the new coronavirus outbreak are delayed another day. But there is a silver lining. Late today, the Foreign Affairs Minister confirmed a U.S. option.
We had an offer by the U.S. State Department, who's going to have a plane which will be departing shortly after our own plane to put a number of Canadians on board.
Ottawa is also working to help hundreds of Canadians stranded on a cruise ship off the coast of Japan, quarantined after confirmed cases on board. The World Health Organization says the numbers have surged globally. In the past 24 hours, we saw the most reported cases in a single day. The organization is requesting $675 million in aid to help fight the spread. And today, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation answered the call, donating up to $100 million to vaccine research and treatment efforts. The federal government is encouraging all Canadians who do not need to be in China to leave while they still can. So far, 373 Canadians in Wuhan have asked for help. In our top story tonight, Abigail Beeman reports on what it's going to take to get them home.
A city of 11 million people, desolate for days. Video sent to Global News by Miriam LaRouche, one of 211 Canadians who was supposed to be out by now.
I got the email an hour before leaving for the airport.
This email from Global Affairs Canada telling her the evacuation flight was delayed.
There is a narrow window given by the Chinese for flights into Wuhan, and the weather conditions were such that the plane couldn't take off, so everything's delayed by a day.
Ottawa says crosswinds were the problem on the way to Vietnam.
It's a stressful situation because we don't know what's going to happen and when is it going to happen.
The latest numbers show 373 Canadians want help getting out. 211 are on the manifest. Wednesday afternoon, the U.S. State Department called Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister with a friendly offer.
We now have secured a few seats on the flights organized by the United States authorities. Individuals who are eligible for travel on these flights are being contacted as we speak.
Francois-Philippe Champagne will only say a few dozen seats are up for grabs, and Canada may still send a second plane for the rest. Meanwhile, Global Affairs has updated its travel advisory for China, still warning against any non-essential travel, but there's a new suggestion for Canadians already there.
If you don't have to be, to come home now while commercial flights are available.
When the Canadian flight and the U.S. flight with Canadians aboard eventually land, everyone will be taken to an Ontario military base for 14 days of quarantine.
Actually, I feel better since they said that we are going to be like quarantined, because now I'm going to be sure, like 100% sure that like I'm fine, I'm okay, and I won't put my family and my friend at risk.
And there's a new recommendation from Canada's Chief Public Health Officer. Dr. Theresa Tam is advising anyone who returned from Hubei province in the last 2 weeks to limit contact with others, what the U.S. is calling self-isolation, although she stresses the risk remains low. Robin?
Abigail Beeman in Ottawa. Wuhan is pretty much a ghost town because of the quarantine and fears over how quickly the virus is spreading. There are now more than 28,000 confirmed cases of the new coronavirus worldwide. 25 countries are affected, including Belgium for the first time, and at least 565 people are dead. More than 5,500 people are stranded on 2 quarantined cruise ships near Japan and Hong Kong. The World Dream is docked at Hong Kong's Kai Tak cruise terminal with 1,800 people on board. And the Diamond Princess is anchored off the coast of Yokohama near Tokyo with more than 3,700 people on board, including 251 Canadians. Now, 10 more people who have tested positive are coming off that ship and being taken to hospital. Redmond Shannon shows us how it all began.
9 passengers and 1 crew member taken off the Diamond Princess and in to quarantine. The 10, none of whom are Canadian, tested positive for a new coronavirus. Japan's health minister says the other 3,500 people will stay on board for 2 weeks. Others on board could yet test positive too.
We remain confined to our cabins. We can't even open the door and walk down the corridor.
David Abel has been passing the time chatting to the world's media.
The only interaction that we're actually getting is when we go out onto the balcony and talk to other passengers are equally as bored, and it's nice to talk to them.
In the meantime, there is little Ottawa can do for the 251 Canadians on board.
We will look at the cruise line in this case to repatriate those Canadians when the quarantine, which has been decided by local health authority, is finished.
A similar situation in Hong Kong, where 30 passengers on this ship have a fever. All 1,800 are being tested.
At the time being, I think we cannot conclude the likely time of finishing the quarantine measures right now.
In a sector that sometimes has to deal with virus outbreaks, one travel expert says communication is key.
It's really providing your customers with the facts of, this is what we're doing, this is what we have as a precaution. If you do have to take a drastic measure, informing your customer about what you're doing. People want to be aware, they want to be informed.
Something people on this ship may appreciate. It's been denied permission to dock in the Philippines, but has no confirmed cases. One Canadian passenger tweeted, "Not sure how or when, but it will be good to get home." The operator told Global News it will be 10 days before the ship can dock. Redmond Shannon, Global News, London.
It looks almost post-apocalyptic in Wuhan. The streets are deserted, shops are shut. It is cut off from the rest of the world. In the epicenter of a now global outbreak, the death toll has been rising every day. So high is the risk of infection that the United States will evacuate some of its trapped citizens on Tuesday. British expat Karn Lambert says he's had no such support from the UK government.
There's a lot of anger between the British expats in Wuhan at the moment. We have had no contact from the Foreign Office. Nobody has tried to contact us and to see what we need, if everybody's okay, if anybody's feeling unwell.
China has entered full crisis mode. It has drafted in more than 2,000 extra doctors and nurses to Wuhan, and they are now building not one but 2 specialist hospitals. In a video posted online for the attention of the outside world, this young man in Wuhan dared to criticize his government.
有关部门根本就不作为，或者说他们别有目的。只能说在这一次疫情中，2003年已经有了非典那一次前车之鉴了，而现在只能说是在重复历史的错误，而且眼下这一次的情况绝对和03年的非典疫情有过之而不及。
The virus is quickly spreading across the globe, and hundreds of new and suspected cases are appearing all the time. The Chinese government today revealed it is spreading faster than SARS and will continue to accelerate.
现在看，疫情传播的速度比较快，对防控工作带来了一些挑战和压力。
2 million masks a day are being produced at this factory. The staff had their New Year holiday cancelled. This and hand washing are currently the only protection you can take against a virus whose threat and spread just keep increasing. The mayor of Wuhan has tonight revealed that 5 million people left before Thursday's lockdown. That's almost half of the city's population, and millions of people who will have travelled across China and around the world, potentially carrying a virus which is extremely contagious and proving difficult to contain. Debbie Edward, ITV News, Beijing.